Welcome to another episode of Power Alphas. I'm one of your co-hosts, Abby Piscatelli. As always, I got my beautiful, drives me crazy sometimes, wife, Amanda Piscatelli. How you doing today, babe?
So funny.
Oh,
Great intro.
She's mad right now.
No, we were like just fighting in the car, guys.
No, it's not fighting. We were bickering. Okay, guys? It's called bickering.
Wait, what's the difference?
Because bickering is like little just back and forth. Fighting is like full on blown out, yelling, screaming, and like leaving the room. Okay.
You're annoying. Like,
oh, babe,
honestly,
you love me.
No, he's annoying because
Ben, she loves me.
99.9%.
Oh, I know my tone. She says
of our fights are Sabby's tone, and we've only been dealing with this for the last 6 years, and. He either sometimes will be like, I know I have to do better. Or there's other times where he's like, well, I don't know why you just haven't accepted yet that's just sometimes how I speak. And it's not I don't mean it in a bad way.
Babe,
like, what is it?
This podcast is not venting. I was just making a joke. How are you doing today, babe?
Well, no, we have to settle this before we actually
settle
speak
this.
Because it's only gonna get worse.
There's nothing wrong.
Okay, anyway.
You guys aren't arguing, you're collaborating.
Exactly,
Yeah.
babe. Tell her.
Lordy
We're
Lord.
just collaborating.
Welcome to another episode, everyone. We are happy to be back. We thank you for all for tuning in. And thank you for giving your questions as well. We're going to save that for the end. We're going to do a little Q&A for the end. But at first, let's dive into what's going on next week. We have WrestleMania weekend, biggest weekend of the year.
Wow.
Another year of me being there, but not really being in WrestleMania. Isn't it kind of weird?
You know what? It's weird, but you've earned that privilege to be in that community. I think you've earned the privilege of being in that environment because you were such a big star at one point for WWE and NXT. So, no, I think it's still a tremendous privilege. I think it's something that, everybody knows it's a wrestling fan. This week coming up is the Super Bowl of wrestling.
Yeah.
And anybody that is affiliated with wrestling is going to be in Vegas this weekend. It's, anybody for any promotions, any kind of wrestling gathering, the fans, all the young, inspiring future wrestlers, everybody's going to be in that city this weekend, and I think it's something that's tremendous because you are a person that people look up to, and you probably inspire a lot of women. So no, I think it's amazing. I think it's going to be a great weekend, and I'll be with you, and I'm excited.
No, it's definitely amazing, and I'm excited. But it's like one of them things where it is the second time that I'm attending that I'm not going to be like a part of it, and I've been so used to being a part of, the biggest wrestle weekend of the year, WrestleMania. But I'm super grateful for where I'm at in my life, and we always talk about it. And now I'm able to do these autograph signings and kind of collect a nice paycheck at the end of the weekend because I have a lot of appearances and signings, and I have the financial freedom to travel and do everything that I want. So I'm super grateful. But to sit here and say that I don't have a little FOMO not being a part of WrestleMania, I can't say that I do miss that part of it a little bit. But like Sabby said, I'm super grateful that I'm able to have this connection with my fans and be able to see you guys and have this direct relationship with you guys outside of these appearances as well. So just to recap, I will be at WrestleCon Friday and Saturday, the 18th and 19th, both days. And then I will be also headlining the Palms Pool Party on Sunday, the 20th, Easter Sunday. But we will have some fun there. We're going to be doing like a watch along. There's going to be like contests and games, and we're just going to have a lot of fun, in Vegas. So come on by, say hello. It's free admission as well at the Palms Pool Party. So, we'll have a great weekend. But yeah, I was thinking about it and I wanted to touch on it a little bit of how it's interesting. It's going to be my second time, not being a part of WrestleMania. Like, not that I had so many big moments at WrestleMania. I was part of the Battle Royal probably every year.
But you were there. No, you were there.
I was there, and I'm grateful. But, besides the one year that, of course, I was in a huge storyline, one of probably the best storylines with Otis, and it was during COVID. So that was the bummer letdown that we've always spoke about. But it is what it is. But let's talk a little bit about some of our predictions, WrestleMania predictions. Let's kind of maybe briefly go into detail about what went on last Friday on SmackDown between Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton.
I did see a lot of headlines about that promo segment.
Yeah, that was interesting. Actually, I want to state my opinion, what I think, what went down during that segment. Because I've been behind the scenes and I've worked with Charlotte before, I've worked with Tiffany. No, actually, I haven't really worked with Tiffany. I was just she just started wrestling more as I was kind of on the way out. But anyway, I personally think what happened was I think they did go off script a little bit. I think that Charlotte was doing the right thing in the beginning where the crowd was so loud, and kudos to her for getting booed that loud. That's amazing. That she did have to like take a breather and back up and was like, let me, gather my thoughts and let us just, they always say like, listen to the crowd like that. So I think she did the right thing. But then I think she did get a little flustered, and rightfully so. I think it is a little bit, it's a lot, and then trying to get back on track. And I think she did get a little off track. And then that's where I think Tiffany did a good job, where she actually had some ammo in her back pocket to go off script a little bit as well, and kind of like, hit her with some personal digs that were pretty relevant, because Charlotte had just gotten off that talk show talking about her divorce. And I think those little things, and always when you bring up Ric Flair and her daddy and that, she'll never live up to her daddy type of thing, like that's always going to make the crowd go crazy as well. But I think Tiffany handled it pretty well, but I do think there were some parts that were getting a little weird. What did you think of it?
Yeah, I know you sent it to me and then I watched it. I did see a lot of kind of memes about it at first. So I didn't see the whole thing until you sent me the whole thing, and I watched the whole thing. What I did like about it first is that I think they brought it to a personal level.
Right,
that
which is always great.
Engages the fans, right? Engages the fans. They want to see some part of realism a little bit. And you're right. Did they go off script? Absolutely. And, I never had the privilege to be, in the middle of Raw or SmackDown and be in a promo segment. But I've done many promo segments with NXT and live shows and a couple of NXT TV, live TV, but never like in the big spotlight. So I don't want to really speak about I've been there, because I haven't, but I've been in many situations like that on smaller stages. But, when you do go off script, even when you make it personal, it's sometimes really hard to get back on the tracks. And
sure.
I think one was we couldn't hear it as much on TV, but they were booing so hard that Charlotte couldn't even speak. And I remember me always being a heel. I remember a couple times I was in the middle of promo, especially NXT. And I actually remember, not to bring up my story, I remember one time me and Rawless did a promo with Ciampa, and they were champions. And I remember I put the mic down twice because they were yelling so loud that I couldn't speak. And then I remember when I got back, they were like, "Oh, did you forget your lines? You forget your lines?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't forget my lines. It wasn't about forgetting your lines. I couldn't even speak." So when I look at that, I think there was a point where Charlotte, yes, she got flustered. Two, I think it was so loud that she couldn't even get her thoughts back on track.
Yeah.
She couldn't even get back on track. And then, also, when I watch Charlotte, she's been in the spotlight for so long, and she's been in so many WrestleManias, and she's been in so many big time moments. And I think it's kind of getting old now. You're comparing it to your dad, which is kind of kind of like a dig that's an easy dig that's not creative anymore.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's like, Charlotte's been in that moment so many times, and I think it was surprising to see her not handle it, in my eyes, the correct way. Mm-hmm. I was kind of shocked that we never really got it back on track, and it kind of ended abruptly. And I thought, Tiffany did a great job of kind of taking control, because I think she realized that Charlotte couldn't speak. She realized that Charlotte was getting maybe a little flustered and upset. So she kind of, like you said, she had some stuff in her back pocket, and it's going to be kind of interesting. There's going to be maybe another promo leading up, in my opinion, before the match. So we'll see how that promo goes.
Mm-hmm. They may not let them have another.
They might not let them have another segment, but
after that, because I did hear that backstage, people weren't very happy with what went on.
I don't know if this is true, but I did see it said that SmackDown cut out the whole segment.
Yeah,
true?
I don't know, because I don't know where they cut it out. Did they cut it out?
Because it was live
on Instagram, Twitter. Yeah, but I guess maybe now because they're on. I don't know. Who knows? But I agree with you. I was a little bit shocked that Charlotte, with her experience, because you got to remember, Charlotte does have a lot more experience than Tiffany at this moment. And I do think that I think it got to Charlotte a little bit. And I will agree with you. There's been promos where I've done and it got so loud like that. And it actually is very hard to speak over the crowd.
Absolutely.
And you don't really want to speak over the crowd because you're not even sure if they're going to be able to hear you. And they usually tell you to don't start screaming. I did that once as a mistake. I didn't even realize. I started getting louder, but it didn't come across well. So like there is a time, like you said, it is good to take that breather. But the more you take that breather, I've done it personally.
The more they boo. The more they boo.
But also, I've done it personally where I have forgot my lines when I've done that. Because when you're just like routine and you're going off of your script or whatever it may be, that's why I always suggest like, obviously putting it into your own words. And that's where I got better with promos when I got to NXT because I was really able to like channel my character and like talk how I want to talk and how I would speak rather than when I first got to Raw and SmackDown, I would get a script and I'd be like, okay, but like I wouldn't say it like this. And then I'd repeat it and it like just didn't come off natural because you saw like obviously how much has changed. So regardless of that, I think it was definitely a little awkward segment, but I will say I wonder, and we'll leave it at this, is like, I'm curious to see how their match will go down, but I wonder if there is some like real heat going on behind the scenes with them because the week prior, or 2 weeks prior, whatever it was, their sit down interviews, their side by side ones, Charlotte kind of like really gave it to Tiffany, and I don't think Tiffany had enough ammo, and I think that's why Tiffany came in. But good for her. She came strapped. Yeah. She was ready to go because that's how you got to be. You got to be on point. You got to be ready. And I always said, too, when I used to do promos, like you have to have that ammo in your back pocket because if the person does go there or does dig at you, you got to hit them with something, and you can't look flustered like, oh, shit, they got me. Like, yeah. And the more personal is, the better. You're right. It's more interesting.
I agree, but I also do like people were saying this is like bad press, but there's no such thing as bad press. I think now more people are intrigued with this match in WrestleMania.
I agree.
Even if, some people say, oh, the segment sucked or they bombed or they forgot their, like, but now you're talking about them and you're intrigued. So now you're going to watch the match. So it's kind of like,
so
it's a win-win.
Like, it's a win-win.
It's a win-win for sure. But
so, interesting to see that play out. Obviously, I'm very interested in Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. That should be really interesting. Heel John Cena is very interesting. He's just very good at whatever he does, and it's gonna be a good one for sure.
I don't know. How do I say this? I think John Cena's been such a legend for so long that we're all intrigued on his heel turn. But for me personally, it's like I think he turns back.
Really?
I do. I think
at WrestleMania?
I don't know about WrestleMania, but I think he.
Oh, like before he ends his whole.
Yes, like because he kind of gave this whole thing. This is like his last run.
Yeah.
Why would you be like the greatest?
Yeah. You're saying at the towards
babyface. So I think there's going to be some sort of twist at the WrestleMania.
I
this is my prediction. I'm kind of calling. No, I'm not saying I'm calling it, but. Do you see John Cena?
He's got till the end of the year now, isn't this his last?
I think he said this is his last year.
Tour? Yeah.
Like tour. So he's probably. I think. Didn't he say? Maybe he said. When is doesn't the new year kind of start in the WrestleMania in the wrestling world when they say like SummerSlam's over, it's kind of like the new beginning. Like they kind of start preparing now for like the next WrestleMania.
Royal Rumble is really the beginning, January. Usually.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that calendar year is January, but like, what is John Cena's last event though? Because SummerSlam is the last biggest event of the calendar year.
Well, I think it's the biggest last, but there's another. I think there's a couple more pay-per-views.
There is a couple more pay-per-views, but I mean, SummerSlam.
Because there's Survivor Series. I think November. I forget exactly all of them, but yeah, I think he is still wrestling till the end. So maybe SummerSlam would be the biggest one where something else happens. So who knows?
Do you think it could possibly? Because obviously The Rock gave him like a little cutthroat in the ring. Do you think maybe they're setting up a Rock John Cena big match again?
Cool. I could see that for sure. Yeah.
Like a SummerSlam match?
A SummerSlam would be sick. Ooh, yeah, that would be really cool. Actually,
cool.
You guys, let us know what you guys think in the comments. Also, let us know your predictions for WrestleMania.
Oh, I'd love to hear them.
Because whoever's the closest with some of them, maybe we'll get a little special surprise.
Little Mandy present?
Yeah, so let us know in the comments what you guys think because we love hearing predictions and whatnot. Next topic. Listen, we got to address this situation. There has been so much chatter on Twitter about this double champion drama.
I love it.
I mean,
Let's speak about it. Even I'm getting on my Instagram comments. It's crazy.
Savvy the other day was talking to someone and he said, "Oh, she was double champ." I stopped him and I said, "Don't you dare say that. I was not a double champion, because if I get community noted one more time." I didn't even know what community noted was. Ben, do you know what community noted was? Because a lot of people don't.
I don't know what community noted
What
is.
does that
Twitter.
mean? What does that mean?
So
What does it mean?
Twitter basically, like with AI and all these things nowadays, and I could be even explaining this wrong, but when you say something like a fact that could be looked up on Twitter, you can get community noted below it, and it says what really is the case. So long story short, someone had tweeted me about how disrespectful, WWE likes to erase Mandy Rose's history. Mandy was the first double champion in NXT, or whatever the quote tweet was. I quote tweeted it, and I said, "Yeah, it's pretty pathetic, huh?" Like, I knew it was gonna gather up so much. Like, I just knew it, so I threw it out there. I threw out some bait, and I said, "Yeah, it's pretty pathetic." Whatever, I don't even know what else I said. And then I got community noted underneath it, where it said, "Well, Mandy Rose wasn't technically a double champion. She unified 2 titles," and blah blah blah. The whole this whole thing. So like everyone is fact checking me like crazy. So then I sent out a video on TikTok and I think Twitter, and I just basically was like, who cares? Like, honestly, who cares? Yes, I was holding 2 belts at the same time. Therefore,
I call that double champion.
I call it a double champion. And if you really want to get technical, yes, I unified the 2 titles. However, I beat 2 other women in a match to technically gain that title, to then unify the 2 titles. So maybe I was a double champion for like 2 minutes.
Maybe,
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
But like,
you were a double champion for at least 2 minutes. You held 2 belts up, and then they unified as one, I guess. Is that what you're trying to say?
And that's what they're trying to say, that I wasn't a double champion. But it's like, who cares if we call it a double champion, a unified champion? Like, who gives a shit? You guys are insane.
Regardless how you spin it, you're a champion of 2 belts, right? So I think, for that, and again, it was an amazing accomplishment. Like you said, it was the first woman in NXT to do that, which was kind of tremendous. And I think, like you said, it's kind of like, you could say it both ways, unify and double champion.
That's literally what I was going to say. It's like,
you could say it both ways.
You're saying it double champion, and she got
thing.
2 belts for the champion. I'm like, wait, isn't that the same thing?
So coming
Exactly
from
right.
you, like a smart person would think that. Now you have all these smart people out there that, the wrestling lingo or
The correct
or the correct terminology or all these different things of like, oh, well, technically you weren't a double champion and you unified those 2 titles. So regardless, it's so insane because people are still talking about it. I'm still getting tweets about it. And actually the Q&A, you guys are really funny. I saw a lot of people being like, hey, double champion, like just trying to make me laugh, which I did. And I just find it so funny because like, while all these people are sitting behind their computer desk, fact checking me, talking about whether or not I was double champion, can we just appreciate the fact that I friggin' unified 2
Hell
titles?
yeah.
And I'm over here living my best life, like making millions, doing whatever the hell I want to do. And you guys are shit talking about me becoming a double champion and erasing the history that was made. The history
You preach,
cannot
girl.
be erased, okay?
I love it.
So, god damn, calm down, everyone. It is insane to me that these people, like, if
Tell
you
them
saw.
they wake up hating on you, at least have some breakfast first. Have you heard that line?
Seriously, I like
You're
that.
cooking over there. You just cooked a real nice. Woo.
Seriously, damn.
I like it. I like that line. You wake up hating on me, at least have some breakfast first.
Seriously, God, it is insane. But
But you know what though? Like you said, some people can want to get technical with it, and some people just will acknowledge that you were double champion for the moment. If that leads to a unified belt, then cool.
Well, the whole thing
they
was,
want to go with the whole correct terminology.
because the match was, because here they go, they're gonna fact check you with what you just said. Trust me, is what they do. The winner of the match unifies the United Kingdom title and my women's champion title.
Okay.
So that was what the winner technically what? So it was a unification match, of course. But
Because
at the
they were
end
getting
of the
rid of
match,
one belt then after that.
right. So
Yeah.
that's why.
One championship. Sorry.
That's why what you just said, people are going crazy
I'm gonna get yelled at for saying belt.
about. I don't think they care anymore. That's why people were getting so annoyed about it because they were like, well, no, they got rid of the one belt. Like they unified them. Technically, you're not a double champion. Like, whatever. Who cares, honestly? And you know what? If Stephanie Vickar still doesn't have a champion, I'll come over there and show her how a real champion,
Woo! Fighting words.
double
Fight in words.
champion
Fight in words. We should set up
wants
a
to
match.
play, okay?
We should have a match. We should set it up.
Anyway,
SummerSlam.
Let's get-
2025.
let's get to our Q&A. How
Oh, I
about
love
it?
Q&As.
Do you?
Yeah, because our fans. I like to hear what our fans like.
Okay. Okay, first question. And I told them that I would be shouting them out as well. So this is from Lopez Leonardo Angel 83 _. How did your ring name Mandy Rose come to be or invented? So the lineage of Rose really runs in my family. My grandma's name was Rosemary. My mom's name is Mary Rose. My real name is Amanda Rose. So, yeah. So basically, we kind of took, really, Mandy Rose is my real name. Obviously, I was the character Mandy Rose, but it really started on Tough Enough, where I was Tough Amanda, as you all know, and Mandy Rose was created, I really believe, on Tough Enough because that's where I developed that, kind of bitchy character. My shit don't stink. I'm better than you. I have it all, blah, blah, blah. And that's where Mandy Rose was created. So, it's kind of just like a elevated, times 10 of Amanda. Do you think my real character is similar to my Mandy Rose?
Yeah.
A little bit?
But I think it's magnified.
I'm a lot nicer. Amanda Sacamano's a
Sometimes
lot
you're nicer until we fight. And
Yeah,
then,
until I
and then it
wanna.
comes out. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, just from my perspective, some people are like, "Oh, you do Mandy Rose's podcast? Is she nice?" And
Yeah.
I'm like, she's the sweetest person I've deal with, and she's like, "Are you sure?" I'm like,
That is
"Yeah."
so funny.
Yeah.
So shit.
No, I've always
I
said
guess
that.
I was doing a good job.
I've always said about Mandy, I feel like one of the biggest traits and ability she had was she played her character very, very well, but she wasn't like that in person. And that's why I fell in
No,
love
I'm
with her.
definitely not a shit. I think my shit don't stick in real life. I got a lot of confidence, don't get me wrong, but I am very humble.
Very
I don't
humble.
walk around with my chest out. I don't think that's not me. But in wrestling world,
Hell
my
yeah.
shit don't stink.
You were baddest bitch in the game.
Wearing my chain.
Wearing my chain.
Okay, let's ask this one to Sabby. This is
Okay.
from Benzilla Creations. I know you, Benzilla. You've been a fan for a while. What inspired the Power Alphas podcast?
That's a great question. Honestly, I feel like I just wanted to get on a podcast, especially with my wife, and just talk about life trials, what we've learned from our success, what we failed at, and what we learned from our failures. And I think for me, I just wanted to get on a podcast and be able to inspire and to let people know that we all struggle with things. We all go through circumstances. We all have life hurdles we got to get over. And I think it's okay to, admit your failures, learn from the failures, and let that be part of your success. And I think, sometimes social media misconstrues if you see Mandy Rose on TV, or if you see Tino on TV, or you see Sabby when I was playing in NFL, you think, oh, their life's so much better than ours. And I don't believe that. I believe life is what you make it and how hard you work and how positive you stay. So for me, I just love the interaction with you. And then, we have other guests, other pro athletes or former pro athletes or former entertainers. I like to hear their stories because we all have stories, right?
Yeah.
We all have stories where it could have went south. And we, made the correct decisions and we made the correct moves to continue on our path. And I think that's just life in general, right? And I think we all struggle with inner demons every single day. And I think I like to kind of talk about what has helped me as a 41-year-old man and what helps me today be who I am and my confidence. And
You're 41.
Stop with
my
that
gosh.
bullshit. But yeah, I'm
you know that,
41.
Ben?
But
I didn't know that.
Doesn't even look a day over 25.
oh,
I know. I was like, you
Oh,
look
but-
younger than me, Sabby.
Getting
but
brownie points over here.
no, but honestly, I think that was my biggest thing was I hope that every podcast we do does help somebody in a positive note.
Agreed. Yeah, everything that you said is probably the exact same reason why I wanted to start one, with a couple other things as well that I'll just add to, which was, when everything went on with after being released from WWE and all these news things coming out and, people wanting to do interviews. And the only time I really spoke about it was on a live Tamron Hall show, which I was also kind of like, I did so many interviews and I was like, you know what? It's time for like me to be able to speak my mind, but control the narrative, which is what we do here.
Absolutely.
And that's my favorite part about this, is because we control how we want to be perceived, right? Or how, we want to speak about something. Whereas, we're not just getting interviewed questions, and we're able to just have this like
freedom of speech,
but also like this good connection between the both of us, and we're able to just be vulnerable, but also be authentic, because I think authenticity is the best form in podcasts. So that was part of my reason as well why we wanted to start this. And we're both so alpha that like the name was just like, duh. Okay, next question. This is from Khalib_B_Price. What do you remember about the old internet days, like AOL or Yahoo Instant Messenger? Oh my gosh.
Wow, that's a random question.
That's random, but kind of funny.
Yeah, that's a good,
right?
Yeah,
well, actually,
I remember so much.
We get so caught up in like the present moment, we forget how it was 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? And you're right. Like there was,
I'll tell you what I remember.
I'll go for.
I haven't thought about this in a long time.
Right?
I've never been a really tech savvy person to begin with. I've never been like huge into social media and stuff, but I do remember like the first AOL I had. It was pretty cool because you would go on there and like you would check your computer, like, and this little thing would pop up and you would see who was on the talk.
Yeah.
And then you would put like be right back or
oh my
or
God,
whatever.
that's what I was gonna say. Because I loved doing my little be right back. Like I would go like have lunch, like BRB, going to get some lunch. XO143, and then I'd come back and I would love to see. I couldn't wait to see who was messaging me.
What a dork!
Oh, the little things, guys.
Did you guys
Come
have
on.
MySpace?
Of course.
Did you both have MySpace?
I did have MySpace.
You were maybe a little too old for MySpace, no? Or you did have it?
No, I had MySpace.
Okay, because
That was-
definitely me and you, MySpace.
So
Generation.
I like was able to get a MySpace for like a half a year.
Yeah, because you're younger than me
Yeah,
too. That's
yeah.
true. So yeah, you're. Oh,
But hold on,
MySpace.
was MySpace? You didn't need a college degree in MySpace. That was Facebook.
No,
you need to be in
Facebook
college.
in the beginning, which you might not even remember
Facebook
that.
in the beginning. You didn't even know that.
What?
Were you born yet? No, I'm just playing.
You might not have been born
Yeah,
yet.
and Facebook,
That was
you
weird.
couldn't sign up Facebook unless you had a college
Tied to your
email.
name.
Email. You had a college email. Like, watch the movie. It started out
Actually, yeah,
it was
says
a
it.
college.
I've never seen the movie. Yeah.
Watch the movie. It's actually very intriguing. So he started it at, to have, you had to have an exclusive email at that school to be part of this program. Then he was like, let's expand our horizons and go to Cali. And that's when he had office started in California. He started getting to Stanford, all that stuff. But yeah, Facebook originated in was college prospects. You have to had, and I remember mine was, was like ONIDORST, EDU. Right, that was you had to have that. You had an EDU, yeah. You had to have the EDU.
Wow.
You couldn't have .com.
They changed it shortly after, though. It wasn't like
Oh,
that
I don't think it was that short.
long.
Actually, what year was that? Check that. Google that. What
Fact-
year did
fact
they
check
change
that.
Facebook that you could have a regular email?
But like, oh, those were the days. AOL, Instant Messenger.
Oh my
God.
God.
But also, this is funny. I begged my brother, Matt, to make me a screen name. You can even ask him this. He'll laugh. Because Matt was the only one that was like tech savvy. And for so long, I'm like, please, can I have a screen name? Because my brothers and my dad were so strict with me that like we had the old school computer in the basement. Like you'd have to sit at the basement. It was
Do you have a
freezing.
laptop or
No, laptop. You had laptops?
I had a
Ain't no
laptop
way
in
your
college.
parents had laptops.
I had one in college.
In college. But
Yeah, so
we're
it was
talking
05, 06.
I was like 12, 13 right now. So like I'm super young. I'm like, please make me a screen name. And like so bad, I kept wanting one. And then finally he made me one. And I would sit on that thing. And then I got the computer in my room and forget about it. Then it was all over.
So Ben just gave us a stat.
yeah,
Facebook
20.
changed it in 2014 that you could have regular
so
email.
it did. And when did it start, Facebook?
Oh, when did
Facebook started like
I thought-
06, 07, right?
Maybe
07?
it was like
think
that for a
so.
while.
For like 7 years, yeah.
Yeah.
06. I think it was 06.
That's interesting.
Maybe
Great
05.
question, Khalib. Thank you for that, because that actually made our wheels
When you watch
turn
the-
a little.
2004.
4. Oh, yeah, you're right. Because
10
I actually, no, you're right.
So
4.
10 years
10
it took
years.
for
Yeah,
them
I told
to
you. Yeah,
change from
04.
it. Wow, that's
Yeah, because 04.
crazy.
So I was in
Wow.
college 03.
That's crazy.
I was in 07 draft. So I was in college from 03 to 06 in 07 draft. Yeah, so like my second year in college, Facebook got popular. And yeah, that's crazy.
That's nuts.
Good question.
Great
Good
question.
question.
Khalid.
Wow.
Thank
Let's do
you.
another one.
Next question. This is from its_Thomas316. Favorite sandwich at Arthur Avenue?
Ooh. Thomas, good question.
Great question. My favorite sandwich,
Go ahead,
and
babe.
it might be the same as Sabby's, but I'll explain it probably a little bit better because,
Yep.
you know, I work behind the counter. We actually just recently named it after Mayapack. It's called the Wolf Pack, PAC, Mayapack.
Okay.
And it is breaded chicken cutlet, fresh mozzarella, broccoli rabe, sun-dried peppers, and a little drizzle of balsamic reduction.
Or you can get it too with the creamy Italian I like sometimes too.
Sabby likes to
instead
get
of
it with the-
balsamic reduction.
With our it's our
Golden.
golden Italian dressing, which is we're famous for that as well because that's like the caramel special that we put on the dressing. But Sabby loves that one too. And then what's your number 2? Because you always go.
My
back.
number
He
2
likes
is-
to get 2.
Well, that one and then the Italian combo
Yeah.
is just I mean, listen, I'll be honest with you.
What about the Big Mac?
It's that's my next one.
Actually,
it's
we
the
gotta put that
best.
on the
It's the
menu.
best Italian food I ever had in my life by far. Like sandwiches, maybe hot food, cold food. I mean, the broccoli rabe is the best I ever tasted. The other one I really love, we call it the Big Mac.
Yeah, which
Because
I gotta
guys,
get that
I'm
on
not exaggerating with
DoorDash.
you. Everyone's had a Big Mac from McDonald's at least once in their life, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is a healthier version, a lot healthier version of the Big Mac. I do it on sliced rye bread.
I like it on the rye too.
Right, I do it on like a sliced thin rye bread, but it's we make our fresh
Roast beef.
roast beef.
We make our roast
Yeah,
beef.
so
It's not from
we make our roast beef,
Boar's
so
Head.
it's not processed. It's
really good in the oven.
In the
My
oven,
dad
yeah,
is
so
like
it's-
known to have like the best
absolutely
the way he
so.
makes his roast beef.
And
is
so it's
good.
like actually pure protein, so that's actually good. It's not processed, right? So it's good for you. And then you put Russian dressing, coleslaw, and then I usually put cheddar cheese. And they put it on the grill for a little bit so the cheese
Yeah.
melts over the.
So I
oh
like
my
it
God.
with American
Ben,
cheese.
I swear to you, Ben,
Holy
it
shit.
is a Big Mac.
it's orgasmic.
And it's unbelievable how you'd be like, oh my God, that's
Sounds
the
so
healthiest, best Big Mac I ever had in my entire life.
I like it with
Unreal.
American cheese.
We should
Lando
get
Lakes,
sourdough.
and we should put it on sourdough.
We should put it
I
on
know.
sourdough when we go back
That's
up.
one that I got to add. Guys, we are also on DoorDash.
DoorDash.
Which is brand new. I've been putting my blood, sweat, and tears into this thing for the last 4 weeks.
Mandy's
because
on
it's-
payroll.
Yeah, because it's like a lot harder than I thought and it's insane. So we are on DoorDash now. So make sure you check it out if you're in that local area. And we got to add our Big Mac on there actually too.
Those are the three that
Those
just
3 best.
Those are the 3
So
best.
good.
I don't care what anybody else says. Those
No.
3, and you can't go wrong with the Italian combo. Like if that's
Yeah,
you, like,
Italian combo.
because
is
you're
just
Italian
bomb.
deli. It's
yeah.
oh man,
So good.
Gary makes it so good. Shout out to Gary.
Shout out to Gary. Next question. I don't know why, but I get this request a lot. I'm just going to throw it out there and we don't need to talk too much about it. But this is from Nicholas9798. Could you strangle me with your legs? I love you, Mandy. Why do people want me to strangle them with my
you have
quads?
such nice legs and booty.
Well, because I have a lot of muscle. My
you do have a lot of
legs
muscle.
have always been thick. But like they asked, why do you want to be strangled?
Fantasy.
It's a weird fetish.
Fetish and fantasy. We won't even touch on that right now.
Anyway,
Skip.
skip.
That's more of an
Swipe.
OF. That's more of an OF comment page.
Yeah. Anyway, next question. Okay, this is a good one. We'll talk about this. We can both answer this actually. From Bake Shied B Dip. What's your daily diet? I'll go first.
Go ahead.
Mine changes a little bit. If I'm not in like a program or anything like that, it changes, but it strictly usually, tries to stay the same. I start off in the morning with hot water and lemon and a little bit of Celtic salt for the electrolytes.
We have Baja Mineral actually right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, whatever.
Same
yeah,
thing.
Yeah. Is it Celtic or Celtic? I think it's Celtic.
It's Celtic. We don't have that one. With the
Oh,
Baja
whichever,
Mineral.
yeah.
Same one, yeah.
The Baja mineral salt, right? We have,
Yep.
yeah. So that one, and then Sabby makes so Sabby usually wakes up like 6:30, and this is kind of funny. I wake up at 7 because he makes our fresh juice. So I let him do the dirty work. And then by the time I get up, the juice is made and I don't have to wait because we like to have that before our coffee. And I just like, sometimes I just got hit snooze for a little bit longer. So I like to wake up at like 7 lately and he's up at 6:30. Juice is made. Coffee's brewing now. So then I do the water, then I do the fresh juice. And then like, it's like 20, 25 minutes in probably. Then I have my coffee. Relax a little bit. Then I usually have some eggs. I usually do like 2 eggs and then some egg whites mixed in and just some fresh fruit lately I've been doing for breakfast. I haven't been doing any carbs for breakfast. And then either work out or get on with my day. And for lunch, I usually do like some sort of lean protein, whether it's bison, ground turkey, chicken with usually like some jasmine rice. And that's what I have for lunch. And then I have my protein shake after my workout, which is half a banana, scoop of protein, almond butter, chia seeds, and what am I missing?
Nothing.
That's it, right? That's the post-workout protein shake. Then for dinner, I usually have some sort of lean protein as well, maybe salmon we like to do or grill, whatever it is. And then we have like a salad with, sometimes we'll do like roasted sweet potatoes or sometimes we don't do carbs at night. It just depends on the day. So that's kind of the basis of what I eat. And then, the nighttime snack.
I was going to say, what's your favorite dessert?
Our snack healthy snack is Greek yogurt chobani, 0 sugar.
0 sugar is a key.
In a little bowl with, I like to add this Nutrail granola that I've been having. It's at Costco and actually you can get it off Amazon. It's really good. But it's 0 sugar and it tastes amazing with a little bit of sprinkle of protein powder because I actually like the taste of the protein powder in the yogurt. So that's my little nighttime snack.
Yeah, that was very, so anybody
kinda
listening,
similar, but-
it's very similar, but anybody listening, I mean, we'll be honest. I'll be honest. I'm like 75-25, right?
Yeah,
75% of the
me too.
time, I'm pretty good. I'm disciplined with it. I like what I do, but I do believe in balance. I really do. So I would say 25% of the time, especially that 25% of the time is mostly on the weekends. I think it's kind of like you just said, I like to wake up, I hydrate right away. Hydrogen water with my Baja mineral salt. Then I make a fresh juice. And then I don't touch my coffee about 30. Actually, looked at it today. It was about 40 minutes after I wake up. I have my first cup of coffee. Then I have my 3 eggs with a little bowl of fruit. Same thing, work out, do my stuff, my protein. And then, like I said, during the week, I really like to stay on ground bison, ground turkey, chicken for lunch. And then at dinner, at night, we have the salmon. We have the lettuce wrap burgers. We do a lot now.
Lettuce wrap burgers are really good.
We always try to keep it clean during the week, maybe sushi one day during the week. And it's not like when we cheat. When I say 25, it's not like we're eating McDonald's. But, we have our date night. Where
it's like sometimes it's just like filet mignon.
yeah, it's like nice steaks, but we'll have a tequila, and then on Saturday we'll have our bacon, egg, and cheeses. With bread that we don't eat a lot of carbs, but we'll have a bacon, egg, and cheese. And then Sunday is just still my tradition, Italian culture. I love my pasta. Mandy cooks an incredible sauce. We have pasta with eggplant, salad, maybe some meatballs. So that's kind of like our weekend. We kind of our 25% is still living life and still enjoying. And then we try to kind of zone back in Monday morning. That's kind of been my theme. And
we're very routine and creatures of habit.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's the way to stay healthy. And I think in anything in life, it's the consistency of it that gets you where you need to go.
And the reason why we are able to do this as well is because I think how consistent we are. So we train our asses off, obviously, during the week, and then the weekends we're we just feel so validated that we're able to splurge a little bit and enjoy life because it's all about
you still,
life. You
still gotta have balance, right?
Yeah,
you still gotta have balance. I love my chips, right? So, but I've kind of transitioned to I don't eat my Doritos anymore, not like that. I have the Canyon Boulders that's cooked in avocado oil. So that's
those are good.
Those are those are a little bit healthier,
ones. Have you had
right?
the Siete?
The
Sietes are good.
The lime.
I try to stay now with chips cooked in avocado oil. That's a big plus. And then, I don't eat the Doritos. I love my Doritos, but I don't think I've ate a bag of Doritos in over a year, 2 years,
so long,
which are so good. But, I try to transition with my healthy snack at night because I do when I'm on TV. My problem is when I'm watching TV, I need to munch on something. So I've been eating some pistachios.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been killing some pistachios. And they're pretty good for you. They regulate blood sugar. They're good protein. So
He eats them so loud, though,
but I eat
guys.
them loud and she gets mad. But it's better than eating chips.
Have you ever tried to make your own chips?
No. How do you do that?
They're so easy. It's so easy to make. Like you just have to get the potatoes. You could do sweet potatoes, whatever, and slice them thin. You can
I've done sweet potato chips.
You can put them in a food processor, whatever. Soak them in water for 15 minutes, and then just deep fry them in avocado oil.
Sea salt on them,
and then take them out. It's so much easier, and they're really good.
Savvy's gonna mess that up.
You know what's a good chip? I don't even want to give them a shout out. We're not working with them now, but you know what good chips blowing up is masa.
They were okay. I wasn't too crazy about them.
And I think they got bought out already. Like they got bought out so quick because they know this is like the future of chips. Masa, they're like they're cooked in tallow, beef tallow.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and I think they got bought out. I think they just got bought out. And the funny thing is, they didn't even let them blow up. Like they're like just on social media. They're like e-commerce space, and I think they got bought out by like Doritos or something because they're really like they're going to be huge competition. I thought they were okay. I thought they were good for what they were. And they're actually extremely healthy.
Okay, next question. We gotta move on.
Sorry, my
bad. This one's funny, babe. This is from Betty_Davis_2462. Gains going crazy. Eating good. 150 yet? How do they know that?
You 150?
No, you 150.
Hold on. Gains going good.
Gains going crazy. Eating good? ? 150 yet? ?
Thicker than a Snicker.
Thicker than a Snicker. Actually, then the one person over here from John_New York goes thickest girl in NXT, but I'm not on NXT right now. But so funny joke, Betty Davis. Sabby and I at night, like sometimes I'll weigh myself before I go to bed. Like not because I'm like,
which is the worst time, but
it's the worst time. I'm like definitely without a doubt like 4 pounds heavier sometimes.
Well,
no joke. We all are. I drink so much water, so obviously like, you know, it's water weight and everything. But I'm like right now close to 150, which is wild because I've
love it. Thicker than a Snicker.
Never been 150, but not for nothing. Like my abs are still out. Ben, can you see my abs? Kind of.
She looks amazing.
I'm sitting. It's a little hard.
She looks great. But Ben, I told her not 151 though. Okay, I'm just playing.
No, so I don't want to get any bigger pound wise. Not that
Just
I really
joking.
follow the scale, but I'm at a place where I'm actually really happy. But I did put on a lot of muscle this winter. It was bulking season, and first time taking creatine. I know, believe it or not, wild.
Me too,
in
actually,
fitness
consistently, yeah.
Yeah, for how many years? And I just started taking creatine like right after my competition. So just to give you a little perspective, at my competition in August, I weighed about like 135, I think, maybe 133 I got down to. I don't think I really got down to 130, but probably 133 was the lowest. And now I'm like almost 150. So like that's a big difference, but I love the way I look. I put on a lot of muscle. I train glutes like 3 times a week. And that's another question someone asked. My glute routine is amazing. I don't have time to explain to you guys on here, but I do post on my Snapchat like all day my workouts. So make sure you follow my Snapchat. It's at Mandy Sacs with 2 C's at the end. I'm thinking about doing a little bit of a cut, not like a crazy cut, but you know, bikini season is coming up, summer. I got
Babe, I don't want you to cut. I like you at 150.
I got Miami Swim Week coming up. So on camera, you know, you look a little bit bigger. I might want to cut a little bit, but nothing crazy.
Well, you just said, and here's the reality of it. Yes, you've been training a little different, but that creatine will keep water retention for sure. So if you got off creatine, you probably wouldn't have to cut. You probably go to 145, 144 right away.
Yeah, but I like the creatine.
You know, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like it's
I think I
hard
just changed
to
up my
cut.
diet a little bit.
Yeah, you can.
I just cut out some carbs. It's easy. I did it for so
you
many
look
times.
amazing. Keep it like that.
No, I love the way I look too. Thank you.
That
But
booty though.
okay, we'll answer like one more question
One more
because I did
question.
have a
Here we
lot,
go.
but I don't want to disappoint my fans. This is from Canella XO. You have such innovative photo shoots. Where do you get the concepts from? That's an interesting question, actually. We spoke about this a little bit on the last episode about kind of the behind the scenes of paid content and exclusive content, and just how much work is put into it. And I think people kind of don't realize the amount of work that's put into it. You think photo shoot, like, oh, it's nothing, whatever. You take pictures, and it's like, no, there's actually strategies of going into things, you know, where I'm doing these photo shoots, when I'm doing the bookings, and communicating with the team and getting creative enough to give the fans something different as well, and not staying so stagnant. And the concepts I just kind of get from other people on social media, see what's kind of trending, what works, what doesn't. It's a lot of trial and error. It's not like there's ever going to be like a set thing of like, oh, this works and now this is all I do, because you always have to evolve. So yeah, I just try to be creative, and also my management team, Moxie Management, has been a huge help with all that. They literally send me like spreadsheets every month about different photo shoot ideas we can do, and also before a photo shoot that's planned, they will give me ideas of things that we can film, things we can whether a holiday's coming up, and get creative. So they're amazing. They have been such a big help. So shout out to Moxie.
It's a good question, because a lot more, even I don't even realize how much goes into that, and they do a very good job. And Mandy has tremendous patience that I don't really have much of, but she does a
You
great
need
job
a lot
with
of patience, and you need a lot of, it's like I said, trial and error, and just like thinking about different ideas, and just staying creative is the biggest thing.
that. Yep.
But just to recap, we will be in
Vegas.
Las Vegas next weekend, WrestleMania weekend, 18th and 19th. I will be at WrestleCon. 20th, I will be at the Palms Pool Party. So make sure you guys come on, say hello. I'll also have some calendars with me and books to sell at my table at WrestleCon. So make sure you check those out and come on by if you want one of those. And I am also going to be walking in Miami Swim Week this year again, but I'll let you guys know the details when we get a little bit closer to that. And yeah, we can't wait to fill you guys in with our weekend at WrestleCon, and we'll see you guys next time.
Awesome.